Tony Britt Spotter Charts serves sports media exclusively with customized cheat sheets for both prep and game time. Serving over 350 clients at all major networks, 23 NFL teams, and 68 college football programs, including Division II, Division III, and NAIA schools. Variable pricing ensures that small schools receive the same VIP service as ABC, CBS, ESPN, Fox, NBC, and the NFL Network. Ray's Barbershop provides first-class service, haircutting, and shaves since 2010. With 6 locations located within the Quad Cities area, Ray's Barbershop has been voted the Quad Cities' favorite barbershop year after year. Ray's goes above and beyond to make sure your level of satisfaction is met. You won't find the Ray's experience anywhere else. Stop in today and let them help you reinvent yourself.
Do it.
Well, welcome to the Viking Press Pass. I am Matthew Nickel, and joining me today, linebacker for the Vikings, Carl Thomas. So, Carl, appreciate you joining me here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, Vikings are 7-2 overall right now, having a great season. 6-2 in the conference. Let's talk. Let's maybe start talking a little bit about that Carthage game because. Defense held Carthage to 26 net yards rushing, which was awesome. Just 171 through the air, 3 sacks. Talk to me just a little bit about, your thoughts on the Carthage game.
I just felt like that whole week coming into it, we was coming off the Wesleyan game. We were motivated. We were still hungry. We knew that we had a lot to play for the rest of the season, so we just really hit the film hard. Coaches came up with a good game plan, and besides that first drive where they got the field goal, I think we had them where we wanted them the entire time. They just couldn't get anything on us.
Well, definitely.
That just goes back to how we practice.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I was kind of curious going into that because they had, Bryce Frank had been having a great year, but I know Mark Hunter got the start. I saw Bryce Frank was kind of in and out of the game, here at times. And, going against, someone who was, probably one of the best, one of the better running backs, I would say, in the conference that we would play. I thought the Vikings did a nice job. I think they held him to maybe him just 40 yards and then, had, a lot of tackles for losses that kind of, brought that net yardage down to 26. So, just from an aggressive perspective, how do you feel like the Vikings were, continuing to to stop the run game? Because I think that's going to be pretty important as we look ahead to this Saturday.
I think it just came down to dominating the front. If they couldn't get no push on us, we was getting in the backfield. We was getting in the backfield very fast. We just closed up their running lanes. They had nowhere to really run on us. They tried to have to bounce it outside, which we wanted them to do. And our safeties, we have Toby, we have Nate Simon, we have DL. We usually have all those guys who can come down here and make those plays on the outside. So once we plugged up that middle, they really had nowhere else to go to.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Toby's name because, on Saturday, you were the second person not named Toby Split to lead the team in tackles. He's led in 7 of the 9 games. Dino, had one against North Park, and then obviously you this past Saturday with 10 tackles. Now, what do you think just kind of led you to being so active around the ball this past Saturday?
I think this whole season, well, in the Wheaton game, I actually got injured. I had an AC sprain. And from week 3 to I would say Elmhurst, I was kind of still dealing with that. But I think it was just the way they were blocking just opened up a lot of opportunity for me to go just attack. And as long as somebody's making the tackle, it doesn't really matter to us who gets it. Usually how they schemed us, they went after the linebackers, which freed up Toby. Or Toby just came down and made a great play a lot of times. So just opportunity to make a lot of tackles, and we got to capitalize on them. So I think that was just what we just had going for us.
Kind of worked out within the game plan. Now, I haven't really talked much about, on these interviews so far, about like Coach Maloney or Coach Wes. What's their style or what's it been like, playing under kind of their direction there on the defensive side of things?
Maloney and them are great. They're real old fashioned, so it's real just fundamentals, reading your keys, knowing where to step, where to put your hands, how to attack the blocks. What do you want to? Are you an outside in based on your scheme? Who's what safety's behind you? You just know like where the defensive line's going to be, making them right if they go inside or outside, and they just teach those things. They've been teaching those things to us since camp, so we've really been drilled into our brains how to really fill the run, and how to fit gaps, and get into our passing lanes and on the coverages and stuff. So I think all that's just really helped us go so far, as it shows in our record and how our defense has been improving week to week.
Now, is there a different style, of how they coach compared to maybe, what you experienced, whether it was at Quincy or in high school, whether it's philosophies or techniques? Is there anything kind of in particular that maybe stands out about their style or what they teach?
I would just say like schematically, it's just different. At Quincy, it was more of a we was more outside linebacker. Like, it was outside the box, like overhang defenders on both sides with only one linebacker in the box. So our technique and strategy there was just basically crash outside in. Here it's more like inside out. So it's basically teaching how to be a traditional linebacker, which I like a lot. So I just say it's more like old fashioned, just which I prefer. And it's just been really good to just see both ways. I think my experience at Quincy has helped me a little bit as far as different approaches to it, but yeah, I really like how they teach it here.
I like it. I like it. Well, I was prepping a little bit for this WashU game for the call tomorrow. Um, and man, like I'm looking at this group of linebackers, Shiloh, Dino, Frank, Peter, Owen, Johnny, you, obviously Dylan, who's out for the season. But, outside of really Dylan, this is kind of a younger linebacker core. I mean, Shiloh's a freshman, and the rest of y'all outside of Johnny or, Johnny's a sophomore or juniors. Um, if you had to like use one word to describe like this linebacking group, what word would you use?
I would say hungry. It's a hungry group of guys. You can take any one of us and throw them out there, and they're still going to give it their best shot, give it their best effort. We have a great rotation of guys. Like, you can easily throw out Johnny Craw out there; he'll get the job done. You can go get Owen Keeney out there; he'll go get the job done. Frank had some great plays last week. He flies downhill. Pete's been playing with a broken hand. He's been doing a great job with that. Dino Shiloh is like a great blitzer. It's just a well-rounded group of guys who are all just hungry to go get that ball, go get those tackles.
Man, you talk about Pete with that club. He probably would have had an interception last week if he didn't have that on,
Yeah,
right?
no,
um,
yeah,
so I respect, man, when guys go out and play, play with their hand wrapped up and it's like it's a little bit of an advantage to some degree, but it's also a disadvantage, in other aspects. And um,
yeah,
but yeah, like, I mean, I love watching this linebacker group, really this year, and it sucks that Dylan's not there. I've had a chance to watch him over his career, and but you've really come into your own. I know, this Carthage game, it felt like things being really clicked for you. Again, continuing to be aggressive and like anything, right? It's just you're working within the scheme, and things are starting to become so second nature. And then, I just love like I don't want to say Shiloh's like the wild card, but he is like this aspect of the linebacking group that just brings. I mean, he's on the edge of just playing, absolutely. I don't want to say out of control because I mean he's not doing the right things, but just like 110 miles an hour, bringing tons of energy. And so I love the fact of what this group does at that second level and how well this linebacking core has worked this year. Because I think, a little bit to last year, coming into this year, the linebacking core continues to evolve just from a pure skill set perspective. And what I haven't really seen this year, it feels like, and again, this is just kind of my perspective, is it doesn't seem like we have allowed that that part of the defense to break down this year to allow for like broken plays or a lot of missed coverages or for quarterbacks to really take off. It really feels like just from a pure like technique perspective and a pure scheme perspective. I mean, it's been locked down pretty well this year. I mean, how would you think about that perspective of the linebackers game so far this year?
I think it goes to like our all around athleticism. We have got a lot of guys who can just float to that ball. They can go from coverage to getting the quarterback in the snap. Like you said, Shiloh's out there. When he's out there, they don't know where he's at. He can just he's like a QB spy like guru when it comes to it. And I think all that goes back to coaching and how we practice. We have a lot of good QBs on our team that we play against all the time, and they run a lot. So it gives us practice every single day, every single week of just knowing how to like play those quarterbacks that like to scramble. And we know when a quarterback likes to scramble, like coming in, like we gotta make sure we have a spy. We gotta make sure we have somebody like keyed onto him. And yeah, our just big one of our goals is always just making sure we bottle him up. If we can take away that aspect of his game and force him to throw in the pocket, we know we'll be pretty good when we're sitting.
Absolutely. Well, defensively, I mean, we're we're only allowing 108 yards, rushing on the ground. That's been great. I think we're definitely a top 4 defense when it comes to just kind of total yards that we're giving up. Um, Number 2 in sacks in the conference at 22. So yeah, man, this, and sitting pretty good for at the tackle for loss as well of 51 so far this year defensively. So that's the aspect of the game when I think about tackles for loss and sacks that, this defense has elevated, I think, this year. And I mean, again, that just contributes to so much success. So it's been fun to watch you guys, man. It's been a ton of fun. So I appreciate the defensive side of the ball a lot. So um, now let's talk a little bit about your path to Augustana because we were talking, before we kicked this off, right? Like they have you down as a sophomore,
Mm-hmm.
but you're really a registered junior. Um, Talk about the path, to Augie and how you got there, got hooked up with Augustana, after you started out at Quincy.
So Augustana originally was trying to recruit me out of high school, but at the time I was trying to go to like D2 or higher. I ended up going to Quincy for 3 seasons. I only played 2 games and 2 games my sophomore year, 2 games my junior year, and I just wasn't where I wanted to be on the roster. I was working real hard, just couldn't find a way to get to the top. And once I decided to transfer, Augustana was one of the first teams to like really hit me up. They showed me a lot of love. They brought me in. They told me like where I could help with this team, how I could help contribute, and everything. The vibes showed that they wanted me here, and that was one of the biggest things to me and my family. So we just feel like it was just great to come here. And the year we've been having, I have no doubt in my mind that this is the right decision to make. This has been great. The team's been great, and I really love being here.
Well, the Augustana has such a rich history of developing linebackers within the defense. From Rusty Van Wetzinga and a number of other folks just kind of over the course of the Viking program over the years. Like that's kind of one area where I think when I think about Augustana defense, linebackers is like synonymous with expectations and their performance. So um
Hmm.
now, I mean, what do you love about playing the linebacker position?
You get to hit. That's the biggest thing. You get the opportunity to hit and control how you hit without usually getting hit. Running backs, you get hit a lot. You know you're gonna get tackled. Receiver, you're gonna get tackled. DBs don't usually get a chance to tackle much people. D line, you're in the trenches. Linebacker is like the ultimate mixed bag. You have to be strong enough to take on tackles, fast enough to cover receivers or running backs out the backfield. You just have to have the IQ to know where the gap schemes are going, where the blocking's going, what your guys are doing, everything, whatever. You basically you're almost like the secondary quarterback of the defense. If it's not you, it's the safeties. You really got to have all the right combination of everything to really play that position well. And when it clicks, you can just tell when it clicks because you can tell somebody's not really thinking; they're just playing ball, and it's just exciting to do, and exciting to feel, and exciting to see.
Now, as I was prepping, for this interview with you, I saw a highlight from 2021 where, man, you had a big hit on a wide receiver. It's like on a quick throw out into the flat against Hillcrest.
Yeah,
And man, like you came up, you timed it perfectly. You absolutely destroyed the kid. Like I feel bad for the kid. Um, what have been like some of your, kind of big hits, highlights in some of those plays like you recall kind of throughout your career so far?
in high school, I had a there was a few like I played like kind of like a rush edge almost half the time. So there was a lot of times where I was able to get into that backfield. There was a game against West Plains my sophomore year. I had a pretty big hit. Kind of took both of us out, but I kind of laid the stick there. Uh, but as far as big hits go, I've had a few, but I've more been the type of a sure tackler. I kind of like do like the gator roll, just making sure I get the guy. Like if I can get a big hit, I will take it, but I always like to just make the tackle.
Man, one of the things that it frustrates me watching games, and this isn't necessarily like Augie games, but this is just particularly college games as a whole. Is a lack of like form fitting tackling where folks just come in and try to basically, just tuck their arm in and hit them with their
Yeah,
shoulder. And it's like, I mean, you have like a 10% success rate with that. Like you got to really, hit them off
yeah.
balance, to make anything happen. So, when I think about, your hawk tackle or a nice gator tackle, just a nice form fit tackle. It's like, man, that's where it continues to like I don't know if it's like coaching to the high school level or what's kind of driving that, but that frustrates me. Like if I'm watching a game and I see a missed tackle specifically because of that, that's the only time I'm really like getting upset at the TV.
Funny story, and it's funny because like you say that, like I actually tried to do that too. It was like the third quarter of the Carthage game. I was feeling myself. I tried to do like that, throw your shoulder in, tackle on a crossing route. The kid just bounced off, kept running, and then coach was like, "Yeah, you gotta take a seat for a second." And I was like, "Yeah, I deserve that one," because like, yeah, you gotta tackle the same way every time. You just get the guy down. Them big hits don't work on this level and above because everybody's got that balance, that leg power. Sometimes it works, but like you said, it's like a 10% chance. Just get the guy down, form tackle, just make the tackle.
Yep. I mean, even at worst case, right? Like you don't get the full tackle, you're gonna stop their momentum and allow your teammates to come
Yeah.
in and help clean up. And um, yeah, I was coaching. I coached my son's youth tackle, team this year, and we spent
Hmm.
at least 20-30 minutes of every practice every day form fitting tackling, hawk, gator, tackling in pursuit, coming up and fitting within a gap. Um, and I would say that that's probably one of our strengths, this year is just the youth team was our our ability to tackle. So, man, I take a ton of pride and love to see when people take a ton of pride in how they tackle. Um,
Hmm.
now, switching, what building are you in right now?
I'm in NASEF, the junior housing, TLA. It's like right by Erickson.
Okay, yeah, I haven't been in that building yet. Now, when you were in at Quincy, you were a business analytics was listed as your major. Are you still continuing that track at Augustana?
It's more management now. I want to get into like the corporate management, just running a team. Not much the analytical phase, just like organizational skills, management communications, that stuff, that kind of avenue.
Now, as a junior, have you started to attend like career fairs and started looking at like internships for next year?
I want to. We're actually doing like a core assignment with my communications class where you're doing like that kind of process of like they're sending you like job opportunities, intern opportunities. Uh, you're working on your resume, your cover letters, your portfolio, your LinkedIn. I have that going on right now in one of my classes, but I missed a couple of the job fairs because of football stuff. So hopefully I can get another opportunity to get that kind of like worked on.
Yeah, for sure. Well, they always have the spring season comes up, so to kind of fill all those spots. But um, now tell me a little bit about your family. I haven't had a chance to really meet them at all. You have I don't. How do you say your mom's name?
Kimberly.
Kimberly. So you have Kimberly, your dad Carl, and then Morgan and Mariah. So tell me just a little bit about the Thomas crew.
So my dad, funny enough, actually played 2 seasons at North Park. He was a tight end. So yeah, he actually told me he used to play Augustana, once here, once at North Park. He then transferred to Missouri State down in Springfield, Missouri, where he played D tackle. He brought my mom down with him. They've been married for like 15 years plus now. My two sisters, she's like a government guru. She's like good. She's like actually in North Carolina right now, going to law school.
Okay.
And my younger sister, she's like a big like actor. She likes doing like plays and stuff. She likes doing like all kinds of creative things. I'm actually probably the least creative in my family. Uh, Basically just the athlete. I just play football. I'm the jock. But yeah, it's just. I mean, I love the family. They've been like my support system from day one, like through thick and thin at Quincy to the highs here. Just like they've been really the emotional core of what makes me who I am.
Now, Springfield to Quincy was about 4.5 hours. Now you're like 6.5 hours from home. How
Yeah,
did your parents handle that? Saying, "Hey, I now want to go even a little bit further away." Um, were they pretty
they
supportive
just
of
like
that, or?
yeah, they just hop in the car and they just drive up here. I mean, they work in between the game days, so they're up here. They drive all the way up here. They watch me play, and then we have a dinner, and they just drive straight back. So it's kind of rough on them, but I appreciate them taking that 12 to 13 hours out of their day just to really just come up here and watch me play. It shows how much they really just care about what I do and just how much our family meets to each other, and it's just great to have that.
Yeah, man, it absolutely is, and that's when you and one of the main things that the Vikings talk about, right, is family, and family's so important, and having a an awesome support system like that is tremendous. And yeah, I mean the amount of sacrifice that parents make, not only just in Augustana but across Division III to come to those games across the Midwest. It certainly
Hmm.
doesn't make it easy when you're up and down Illinois and into Wisconsin, playing some of these teams. So,
Yeah,
now, do you know when did your dad graduate from North Park? I didn't know he played tight end up there.
he transferred before he graduated, so he's probably up there from '99 to 2001. And then he spent 2002 to 2005, I think, at Missouri State.
All right.
Because
Well,
I was about a newborn. I was about 6 months to a year old when he graduated from Missouri State. So yeah, about 2004 or five.
yeah, he would. I mean, it's quite possible. I'd have been on the sideline as a freshman, but when he was at North Park, so it's quite possible we shared a field at one point. So I'm gonna have to go back and look at the roster. I'm kind of curious now. Um,
That's crazy.
Now, when he talks about like what type of, I mean, he played college ball. what has he done just to like try and prep you as a player and as an athlete and just as a person, for college and to manage your athletic career, as well?
He's been teaching me how just like since I was a kid, literally from flag football when I was 5 to 6 to now, even still today. Like, even in my bad games when I'm thinking too much, he just gives me a call. He's like, "Hey, you know what you got to do. You're a good player. You know what you got to do. Just be who you are. Be what you play." And after I had a rough Milliken game, and I was like, this is tough right now. He just gave me. We just had a talk, a long, honest conversation. He was like, "Oh, what do you think you got to do?" And I just got to loosen up. I just gotta get out of my head, just play ball. And since we had that talk, that like honest conversation with him, I feel like I've gotten better and better, and just been able to play more loose and loose. And I think that last game against Carthage was just like the the result of that mentality, just carrying week to week from that point on, and just trying to just not just have fun when you're out there.
Man, that's great advice because I mean, if you're thinking about the decision you need to make, right? Like you're already too late. Um
Yeah.
and so yeah, man, playing loose, when you play loose, you play fast. And when you play fast, you make great plays. So it makes sense, man, why you had one of your best games, certainly of the year. And um now I because one of the other things is I was kind of going through like the looking through stuff for you online, and I saw even through on X, you and your dad did the Memorial Day Murph challenge. So um there's a lot of videos of you in the gym, man. Do you, your dad in the gym? Do you guys, still tend to, work out quite a bit in the off season, and kind of what's been like your approach to just, getting stronger?
I just work out with him all the time, especially in the off season, because like he's basically like he coaches football at Central High School. So this summer, when his team was prepped and getting ready, I would just use the field with them. I would just work out with them sometimes. Just got to like really just we just got to hone in on some stuff, some skills that I needed as a linebacker. I think that yeah, just us working together. We had a goal this season of just being the best players I could be, and that work we did this off season that we do every off season just goes to show. We always work out together when we can. He always likes to try to keep up with me still. You know, he's 45. He's like, I still got it in the tank. I gotta show him sometimes. Like, yeah, I'm the new one. I'm the new one. But yeah, we usually work out together. It's usually like a competitive like spirit. Like we just keep going back and forth. It's like it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Switching gears a little bit. What's something about you that maybe many people don't know about you?
Um, I'm actually like people who know me might not think so. They might. I'm low. I'm an introverted type. If you saw me in public, I probably would just be like handing a book or just off to the side. I usually warm up to people. I can be like joking and fun, but I'm usually the quiet type for the most part until I'm not. You know, I like to joke around with my family because I know them a lot, but I really just try to like stay out the way of a lot of people and just like just chill and exist. But I think yeah, no, I'm the quiet type most of the time.
Man, I honestly, I wouldn't have pegged you for an introvert. Because I mean, this has been great. Usually a lot of introverts will really kind of one or two word answers, and you've done a nice job of just um, you know,
Like,
expanding on the topic. So yeah, well, I wouldn't have pegged you for an introvert, but so I learned something about it here
oh,
today as
I'm,
well.
I'm over here like I'm over here like sweating right now. Like public speaking always has me.
Not an introvert on the field though, right?
Nope, nope, definitely not.
uh what's been maybe your favorite memory so far, since joining the Vikings?
I think the best memory we have so far was the game, either the overtime win at Simpson or us beating Wesleyan. because we lost to them last year, and it was they're our rivals. So the fact that we was able to get those last few interceptions against them, we was able to silence them, silence the crowd. I think we was waving them goodbye. That's just one of those moments where it just felt really good. And in the Simpson game, that OT finish where we batted the ball down in the end zone, and we just all got to run on the field. It was a great moment. Those are some of my best, funnest moments on this team so far.
Man, that Zach Gray knocking that ball down and that win for the Vikings, I think helps set the tone.
Yeah,
For and Simpson, I mean, they're a good team. They're having a great year. Um, and that really set the tone. But going into the Wesleyan game, that was the game I was probably the most nervous for, because of how they have been able to perform. That game's always chippy. It's always physical. No matter the record, that's a game that it's hard to win against the Titans every year. And so yeah, man, a nice 42 was a 42-21, I think was that game. That was even better. So I'll take that. It wasn't even that close. So um now Saturday, let's switch to Saturday because WashU, both teams coming in at 7-2. The winner gets the Isthmus Bowl bid. And what are you expecting? Saturday, just kind of from this WashU offense, because as I was looking at, it seems like it's a lot about the run. With them, I mean, Levi Moore, the quarterback, can run, and then they have kind of a dual threat in the backfield with Fred Ware and Matt Kinoshita. What are you guys expecting a little bit from WashU on Saturday?
it's gonna be a dogfight. It's going to can win up front at first. Who's gonna battle? Who's gonna win the line of scrimmage? If we can, they're a heavy run team from our scouting, from what we've seen. If we can stop their run and get them to be one dimensional, I think our cards will be in our favor, as it's been in a couple of these games we played so far. We've played a few teams that like to run the ball. We've shut them down before. So if we can really just get that run stopped, I think it's going to be hard, but I think we have the guys to do it. I think we're going to be able to dominate that front, shut that run down, and make them one dimensional, and then see how good they are at that one dimensional game.
Well, let's go. Let's go. Let's. I mean, I'm just going to be there, just watching, calling the game. But definitely let's go. Get a bid, man, to play an 11th game. It was a great experience a couple years ago. And going up and unfortunately didn't have the outcome against an uprising of Platteville, who was just on the upswing of their program the last kind of 2 years. But yeah, man, I'm excited for Saturday. One of my favorite memories was 2 years ago down in St. Louis when we beat WashU, and I always share this. Like, I've never hugged so many dads of players, like up in the stands. When they won. That was a single person party in my car all the way back up to the Quad Cities. So they hold a 5-1 series record against us, but let's make that 5-2 come Saturday. So,
Let's go.
um,
Sure.
well, lastly, man, I know you got to take off here in a few minutes. But lastly, if there's anyone in particular you want to thank, family, friends, coaches, shout outs you want to make, just want to give you one kind of final opportunity to share that. So the floor is all yours.
I just want to thank everybody in my life who's helped me get to the point where I'm at. I want to thank my family, of course, my mom, dad, brother, uh, sisters, dad, coaches for bringing me here, coaches for being patient with me as I learn the process of this new kind of position. My teammates, of course, they've been great since I've been here. It's been like a family. It is a family, actually, and it's just been like the second I've gotten here, it just felt like there was a shift from like a vibe of when I was at Quincy to here. Everybody's been welcoming me with open arms. The vibe has been different. This team has been different, as we've all seen. Yeah, the coaches have been great. They've all just been like, "Hey, how you doing?" They check in on me. They've been like, "How you been?" And I want to thank you, of course, for having me on here. I've never got to do something like this before, so this has been great. And everything about this year has just been different, and it's been a great experience. And I'm excited for the fans to get to watch our games. I'm excited for the parents. Excited for you. Excited for everybody to get to come out here this Saturday and watch us go beat the Bears, right?
Yep, the Bears.
Yeah,
The
go
Bears.
down here and beat the Bears. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be a great time for the fans. Senior night, you got to put on for the seniors. So yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Thank you for everybody that's involved.
Absolutely. Well said, Carl. And again, appreciate you jumping on. I'm always humbled anytime student athlete takes time out of their day to connect with me. Certainly good luck Saturday. Obviously, I'll be there. Senior day, a lot of implications on the line, man. Super excited. And you've been a tremendous add to this program. You've been a ton of fun to watch this year. So again, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
If you like today's episode, make sure to just subscribe to the Viking Press Pass. 4 letters, 1 year, 4 letters, 1 month. Yay!